Hey, all my fantasy football friends. Welcome to the Multiple First Dynasty channel here on YouTube. It is me, Stosh, Tony Stoll, coming back to you with the, what is this, Week 6 recap, Week 7 hype train, and just our weekly show here on the MFDF channel. Of course, as always, we got the man, Velociraptor, Greg, coming at you. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. We've already got one game in the books this week. We're coming at you a couple of days late here this week. Been a busy week in me and Tony's lives. But so we're already hyped for these week 7 games. We had some big performances in the Saints Cardinals games. Although, unfortunately, a lot of the big stats didn't go to your prime contributors. But I got off to some good Olave starts, so I'm already hyped for week 7. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing really well. Did you start some Juwan Johnson in any of your leagues? Did you get some
I
of that?
did not. I
Yeah.
did not. I have a little bit on the bench.
Hmm.
I didn't start any. Didn't need to really. I don't have him in any lineups where he was a consideration. Like I have him. He's my third on a team where I've got uh, Andrews and another better tight end, and we start to like so.
You're a tight end snob, is what you're trying to say. You only have the most elite
Yeah.
tight ends on all your teams. You don't have to
No, I just happen to
dabble
have
in any of
him
that.
on. I just happen to have him on teams where I have my good tight ends. I think the thing with tight ends is you either want to mostly be at the top of the pile or you want to be dumpster diving.
Oh,
And I got
I'm
him.
I'm diving myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not one I got hold of.
I heard that. That was a good game though last night. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Eno watching him get out there and do it. Keontae Ingram looked really good. It was amazing. Andy Dalton could throw 2 pick sixes and still have what's maybe going to be a top 12 performance on the week still. So that's interesting.
Likely.
Yeah.
Um, as ever, Chris Olave is terrific.
He's the man.
Um,
He's so good.
he is he has to be the rookie wide receiver one, right?
Yeah, I
I
haven't
would
watched
trade
that
it.
much London, but yeah.
Is there any rookie wide receiver you would trade him for straight up right now?
No.
You don't get to research. No, you
No.
have
No.
no.
I wouldn't. I
No,
would not trade Chris Olave for
he's
say someone
shown
to
too
trade
much.
across. I don't think I
He's
would do
shown
that.
too much with bad quarterbacking.
So bad.
Yeah. Um.
With multiple
So
bad quarterbacks. I think that's the best way to put it, right?
absolutely, absolutely. What were your big takeaways from last week, real quick, before we get into our buys and sells?
Yeah. One of the things I want to touch on was and I see a lot of chatter about this. A lot of chatter about this in several of my leagues is you know how down scoring is. You guys have probably seen headlines about that or just noticed it in general. But scoring across the league is low. Like the top scoring RBs and receivers, all the positions are just low. All fantasy scoring is down, and I think people comment on like the rules being that or like the lack of the preseason. I think something you kind of forget is like skill position guys are down across the league. So they're not down, but they're aging, right? You got like your class of 27-year-old running backs, and we're gonna need this infusion of talent that's coming out here in 23 with tailbacks and quarterbacks and stuff. And I think what you're going to see is this kind of cycle shift back up. And so keep that in mind when you think about scoring being down. I think it's going to pick back up in the next 1 or 2 years as these incoming loaded classes of skill position players come of age.
I think that's entirely possible. I think
Yeah.
that's entirely possible. Now, we're going to have to wait and see. I have a second hypothesis here that is
Hmm.
possible.
Hmm.
Um, so scoring is actually flat to the 10-year average. What it is it's down from a 2-year rise.
Okay, I didn't know
It's
that.
down off
Yeah.
a it's down off a like we had some big scoring seasons the last couple of years.
Hmm.
And I think so. Like my other possible thought is that defense takes more teamwork, and some of the weird off-season stuff with COVID, and also like maybe some of the next man up stuff with like 7 teams, teams missing 7 starters with COVID and stuff like that may have disrupted defenses more than offenses. So I think that's another possibility. So let's go ahead and let time tell on that one. I don't know what you think about that, Tony.
Yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense. What were your big observations coming out of this week?
Well, and maybe it is a bit of a function of scoring being down.
Yeah.
The top quarterbacks have separated from the rest of the quarterback group more than they normally do.
It's a total blowout. It's the scoring up right here on the screen for our viewers, and you see Josh Allen has like double what some of these guys have.
Josh Allen is doing what the top tight ends sometimes do to the rest of the field, right? And so I know we are really a super flex heavy show, but I do play in some one quarterback dynasties, and I like you'd be hard pressed to like pass up on Josh Allen with a startup first in that format right now. Like between the longevity and the scoring of it advantage, it's a little bit like taking a Mark Andrews. Like, where are you taking Mark Andrews? Right. I think these top quarterbacks are just killing the field right now. And the sort of reliable veterans like Matt Stafford and Kirk Cousins have not stayed as close to the superstar two-way players as we have seen in other seasons.
Absolutely. Yep. That's totally agree, and you can see it, guys. There's they're just tiering. I mean, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, and up are all doing like 130 plus, and there's these big tiers, like 20, 30 point drops in total points scored from the quarterback position.
Yeah, and I think it affects, in the Superflex leagues, those guys were already going, 101, 102, 103 in startups. So like it only makes them more valuable. But there's only so much more valuable you can go. But nonetheless, I don't know what it would take to get one of those top 4 guys out of, or at this point.
I saw Josh Allen in a 14-team Superflex league get traded like a few weeks ago for 4 first-round picks in 23, and there was another player that came with Josh Allen. It was like a middling flex option. I don't remember who it was, but so about 4 first-round picks is what you're looking at.
4 first-round picks, all of them this year. I don't know if that would get it done.
I think it was 4 23 first, and the guy got Josh Allen in a startable flex. I forget who it was.
I don't know if that would get it done today.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't smash accept. I'd be like, where are those firsts?
Yeah, I have to track them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right. Like, oh, sure. If you want to give me Bijan and CJ Stroud, I'm going to smash that. But like, if it's not early enough to get me the obvious hit players at the top of the round, then man, he is worth so much.
Yeah, here it is. I got it's from September 6th, so that was a little bit further back than I thought, but it still kind of rings true. It's 4 first-round picks in 2023 plus Carson Wentz in exchange for Josh Allen and DJ Moore. So,
okay.
I might take the Allen side. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore's probably still worth a first, right? So it's really only Wentz and 3 firsts. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have taken the first side on September 6th, I think is the deal. But maybe but like he's so far ahead right now. That's we're under consideration. All right. Buy high, sell low. Our weekly segment. Tony, Who you buying high on this week?
Yeah, I have a great buy high. I have a buy high on a player that I have loved since rookie draft season. We're buying high on a rookie right now. Everyone loves to do that. I'm going to try to identify a league where I do own him. I got a bunch of shares of this young man named Alec Pierce, rookie sensation wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. So this guy is from Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati. Love that. That is in my home state of Ohio. And Mr. Pierce, as you can see, currently has 27 targets over the course of the last 4 weeks of the regular season. And he's converted those 27 targets into 8 receptions for 271 yards and a touchdown. Or I'm sorry, 18 for 271 and a score. I'll save you the math. He's averaging 15 yards per catch. 15 yards per catch. That's pretty good from the 6'3", 211 wide receiver. We were both advocating. The channel was advocating for taking this guy in the second round of your rookie drafts, and he is just tearing it up. He had that sensational game-winning touchdown catch. I really like Alec Pierce, and go out and if you can get him from his owner for like. Boy, what would Alec Pierce go for? Would you rather have Alec Pierce or a random 23 second right now?
No, you couldn't get him for a second, but would you give up?
You could either. Yeah.
So, but I think the thing about Alec Pierce is you can start him now, you can play him now, and he's going to be good for a long time, right? So if you're a contending team, would you give your first for Alec Pierce and a second?
Ooh.
Or for Alec, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
I consider it. I would.
Yeah, those are the kinds of and then Alec Pierce is part of your draft haul for next year because he's so young, right? Like you let that be that, right? So because sometimes when I'm a contending team, I'm willing to just give up next year's draft haul for like now guys, and I want the best guys I can get for now. But like sometimes I also think I'm willing to give up part of the long-term value for some help now, but I don't need to, but I want to have long-term value out of that. So I'll take a guy who's playing less well now, but still helps me and maybe has some explosion upside later in the season.
Yeah.
But who's going to be around for multiple seasons. And you're absolutely right. I really like Alec Pierce as a prospect. We had him as high as like 15, 16 in the draft season, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we were taking him like first half of the second round, and then he started falling. All of my drafts, he started falling. I even started second guessing myself a little bit because he was falling so much. It was like, wow, I might have been able to get this guy in the third. I was taking this guy over Dameon Pierce in draft season. I did that a couple times, but
yes,
yeah.
Although, there was one time when I second guessed myself into taking David Bell.
Yeah. I think I took John Mechie over him in one. That wasn't smart.
Well, I mean, I don't. No. We're not going to do that with John Mechie.
Yeah, we're just going to wait on him.
We're just going to wait on John Mechie. He didn't tear a knee. No. We're not going to do that on John Mechie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have. How many shares do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 shares in my 20 dynasties of Alec Pierce. I got a lot.
That's pretty good. Anytime you're over 20% on a player, that's like a lot. That's pretty good.
So I'm not going to be buying high because I'm already so overweight on him. But if I was underweight on him and in that kind of spot, I would absolutely buy high on him. I love that pick. So let me pivot and let me give you my buy high. My buy high is Allen Lazard, also known as Unsexy Gabe Davis. Right. All he is attached to a quarterback who throws a lot of touchdowns, and he has the trust of that quarterback, and he gets a near all the snaps, snap share, a near all the route participation, and is a favorite when throwing to the end zone, right? And wish.com Gabe Davis is what you're looking at here. And I don't think he's properly valued. And also I feel so safe about him this year and decently safe about him next year. And no rebuilder is going to want him, right? So if somebody scraped him up off the waiver wire, but they're otherwise not having a good season, they're going to view him as a short-term asset that they'd like to move. But they're not going to give him away because he's playing too well. I don't know what his numbers are right now. Let me look at them specifically. But
he's a wide receiver 27 in PPR, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
for where he was drafted. Yeah,
exactly. So what I pay,
he's got 4 touchdowns on the season, so that's how you win in fantasy. By the way,
what I pay rent a wide receiver,
yeah,
2 numbers. Well, and he's the wide receiver 27. He missed opening day.
Yep.
Right. So like, he's surely a high end wide receiver 2 since week 2, since the game he missed.
Sure.
Right. Yep. And he has scored in 4 of the 5 games he has played, as you mentioned, and he's got a couple of larger yardage days, and his target participation is good. I just think the floor on him is really great. If you want to go buy a premium wide receiver 3, go buy Allen Lazard. They're not going to charge you premium wide receiver 2 prices, right? For this guy. So you pay the slight premium on, you pay a slight premium for a guy who isn't a great player.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get really nice, safe production this year, and I think next. And he's so wish.com, right? So I am buying high on Allen Lazard.
I love it. Get some Allen Lazard in your life. If you can go trade
Absolutely.
for him, you're getting something pretty valuable. I think Rodgers plays next year. I mean, that has to be kind of part of the conversation with Dynasty with him. But
yeah, I think next year is safe
Rodgers will play. That's my official position.
I think 2 years from now is less safe. 3 years from now, I think you expect him to be all the way gone. But I think this year and next is pretty safe for Lazard, and he'll stay there. He's a free agent, I believe, but they're not going to let him go. They'll pay him.
Pay him something.
They made too much of a mistake turning over their wide receiver core this year.
Yeah.
All right. Man. So alarm bells.
Yeah.
Alarm bells. Who are you selling low on?
I'm selling.
Danger.
I am out, man. I am out on J.K. Dobbins. I'm sorry. I feel bad saying this because the guy has just had a rash of injuries in his career, and he hasn't played poorly or anything like that. He's by all means he's looked good when he's been on the field. But
all right, I'm offering you a random 23 second
for J.K. Dobbins, straight across a random 23. I'd probably counter with a 23 and 24. That's one of my favorite maneuvers. I do that a lot, where I send it
23 second and the 24 third.
Yeah, I'd probably take that. I just want some upside beyond the 1-for-1, and the second is probably a decent 1-for-1. So if you give me upside beyond that, I definitely would let Dobbins go.
All right, let's go. You're a contender.
Yeah.
You're a contender. And you were hoping to get J.K. Dobbins back for some juice down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking Raheem Mostert?
Oh, boy, I don't think I trust Raheem Mostert enough to actually trade anything for him, even in leagues where I'm competing. I would try to find something. Boy,
are you taking Cordero Patterson and Caleb Huntley?
Who? What's Patterson's status? Is he going to return soon? He's supposed to come off IR soon, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Probably not that one. I don't know. Maybe it's really close. Right, I'd have to deep dive.
You're close. Are you taking AJ Dillon from a non-contender?
Yeah. I don't even. I mean, Dillon was my sell last week.
I know. That's why. That's specifically why I gave him to you.
No, and these are entering this past draft season. These were my 1 and 2 most owned tailbacks across all my dynasty leagues. Was last week's Dillon and this week's Dobbins, and I have a lot of shares of both of them, and I would totally let them go for just what I could get.
Would you take Darrell Henderson
for Dobbins? Yeah, absolutely. I think I would do that.
Okay.
The arthroscopic knee surgery has got me scared. When he's had such a major issue, and now he's kind of he doesn't look like he's healed properly, or whatever may be the case. I mean, there's real threats on J.K. Dobbins' career. I think, in my mind, it's hard to imagine he ever is any kind of elite status ever at this point. And he maybe he plays, maybe he's somewhat serviceable, but like I don't know. Dobbins needs to be something better for me to
Okay.
want him. I want to convert him into something else. What he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
You own a lot of Dobbins. I mean, what do you think? Yeah.
Where I own him, I'm
Yeah.
probably holding.
Okay.
I look. There's a chance it goes away. Like, there's a chance he needs another surgery. Well, there's a chance you get real bad news, right? Like,
yeah.
But like, there's also for me, there's like a chance he comes back in 4 weeks and looks really good.
Yeah. Sure.
And maybe it's just a really
in 4
long
weeks, or he hits the IR again after maybe coming back. Then it's like he's
right.
done. He's goes to zero right after that.
Right.
I'm trying to. I don't know.
But I have teams where I would move him, but I don't have him on those teams.
Sure.
Like, I have teams where I'm a contender and he's one of 4 running backs I have, and like, so I can live with it if he's not there, and I can't really replace the upside of him coming back for a title run, and it's not worth it for me to move for the kinds of pieces I could get, given the way my windows are. So I have him on teams that are good, where I probably don't need the kinds of things I could get for him.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm at. So let me take at the risk of going down a rabbit trail, Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards.
Between all that, I don't even know how you sort that out. They all get carries right now, right? I mean, Drake he had that explosive game 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Last week.
It was 10. It was 10 for 119.
Mm-hmm.
But with one explosive play in there.
Yep.
The number. Justice Hill had 2 really good games.
And then
he got hurt. And then he got hurt. He did not go. And he's back. He's all the way back.
Yeah.
This week. Where is he? Grab his stats. Yeah. So he had 48% snap share, 6 for 60. That's 10 and carry. And then he had 36% snap share, 8 for 45, 5.6 per carry, with 2 targets on both catches. And then he got hurt, right? Then he came out of that second game, and he's missed the last 2. So he missed 2.5 games after being hot, and he was a 4th round pick, right? So I'm kind of interested in the upside there. And then, but I think I'm fading Drake and buying the other 2.
Hill and Davis?
And Gus.
Edwards. Okay, and Gus. All right.
Gus.
Yeah, Gus is coming back from injury. Yeah,
I'm betting that the market on Drake is too high because of his numbers last week, where his numbers last week were because Hill and Edwards weren't there to take his job. That's my bet.
I'm thinking it's Hill. I mean, at least this week, right?
Yes.
And then
and Gus Edwards
with his backfield, I think this week.
Gus Edwards has to come off PUP next week.
Mm-hmm.
Now he doesn't. They don't have to play him. He could be another week away, right? But he has to come off PUP onto the roster next.
Yeah, or he's done for the whole year. No.
But they're saying he's close.
Yeah, well,
so
hopefully
he will. Like, they're actually not ruling him out for this week.
Yeah, he's worth picking up. Hill's worth picking up. If any of these 4 guys, even Davis, if he's on your dynasty wire, if you're in a deeper league, he's probably worth a roster spot. Just because who knows where this is going with them. They could be active at the deadline, and they could trade for one of these other tailbacks that's available. I could see the Ravens maybe doing that.
Yeah,
probably not, but maybe.
All right, let's get out of that rabbit trail.
Yeah. What are you selling?
I am selling Albert Okwuegbunam.
You're selling low, so this guy's down, but you want out.
So in my 2 tight end leagues, I am probably holding him because think you can get so little right
Yep.
now. But in my one tight end leagues, I am so close to cutting him that I will trade him for anything his name will bring. Even in tight end premium, I have one tight end premium leagues where I would take any draft pick because I
Yeah.
may cut him in 2 days.
Just take any pick. Fourth round pick in 24 is fine. Take him.
Yeah, and so in my he's a guy who I now I just want to say here, folks, we are recording Friday evening, about I don't know what 20 hours after the Christian McCaffrey trade. When this document was ready to roll 36 hours ago, the name in that spot was Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, it was.
So this is my pivot away. So yeah, all right. So buy high for the week, Alec Pierce, Alan Lazard. Sell low for the week, J.K. Dobbins, Albert O.
Love it.
Hey, surprise, folks. We have come across a couple of traditional buy low, sell highs.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Listen, nothing wrong with that when you really find the opportunity. But I do believe that too much emphasis on buying low and selling high is a big part of why we don't have as many trades as we should. You got to have win-win trades, and you got to find the spots where everybody's trying to sell, or everybody's trying to buy the last dip, and you're wanting to get out because it's going all the way down, right? So where you're a little contrarian on those spots. But this week we happen to have some traditional buys and sells. I've got to buy low, and this is the reason I wanted to do this segment this week. I think Russell Wilson is the most discounted asset in Superflex Dynasty right now. I don't think it's that close. I saw him traded for Zach Wilson. I saw him traded for I've seen him traded for a lot of things. He's 33 years old. He's a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback.
He's so good. He's the man.
He didn't get old. He didn't get old. He's too young to have gotten old at that position. He looks terrible. He's not going to help you this season. I think Matthew Stafford, by the way, is a low-key buy low too. He also didn't get old after winning the Super Bowl. Right? Like, there's just stuff that's not working right now for those two guys. And I don't think you're going to have a good time at any point this year with those guys. Right? But you might have a better time than you've been having with Russ, with either of them. But you're not going to have the good time you were expecting. You're not going to have the QB8, even rest of season. You're not going to get QB8 out of Russell Wilson. But like, you're going to get that in future seasons. People are so out on him right now. I think you could get him for Geno Smith in a second.
Yeah,
I think you got to be trying to do that if you're not contending. Now, listen, if you're contending and you don't have depth quarterbacks, you might not want to play around with that, right? But if you are not a top 4 squad in your league right now, then you should absolutely be kicking the tires on Russell Wilson. I intend to kick the tires on Russell Wilson in all of my leagues, at least slightly this week. Gosh, if people want to get out, I'll take a huge discount on a guy who was a second and third round startup pick, 2 months ago.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I love Russ. I was advocating for him a big this offseason. I want to point something out to our viewer, which is Greg's right. I don't know how much Russ is going to help you win a title this season in fantasy, but he does have a nice little easy stretch of games in the near term. I mean, you look at after the bye, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Carolina, 3 games in a row against some pretty weak secondaries, where the Broncos should be favored against all those teams. I think maybe not at Tennessee, but probably. So Russ could help you win some games in fantasy soon. So stay patient if you're an owner and try to buy him if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, go get your yeah, go get him for I don't know, whatever. Like, you could probably give up Derek Carr and get Russ in a something from some owners right now. You have to have the right level of frustration from the Russ owner,
Yep.
obviously. But there are a lot of situations. Yeah, could you get him for Kenny Pickett straight up?
Yeah, maybe. You probably. I think
Right?
Pickett's worth more
Like,
on Keep Trade. So on KTC. So.
yeah. I would. Could you get something back with Kenny? Could you get Russell Wilson and a third for Kenny Pickett? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback.
No, he's awesome. He has that
Anyway,
massive stretch of games that are like, there's seasons that are top 10. There's really, he is great for fantasy, and he will be again. Like,
yeah.
you gotta just wait it out.
All right, and I know you had a buy low that
Yeah,
you were in
yeah,
on
yeah.
this week, huh?
I gotta buy. I'm buying low, buying the dip. It's a little overdone buying dips. That's all they talk about. But I think there is some serious value to be had out there in Mr. Najee Harris, tailback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, Mr. Najee Harris is the KTC RB 13, so he's not even RB 1 on there anymore. The likes of Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce, and even Javonte Williams are all above Najee right now, and I'm not having it. I don't appreciate what they're saying about Najee Harris. This guy is extremely talented. He is on one of the best franchises in football. The Pittsburgh Steelers will get their stuff together. They will. Their coaching's too good. They have too much history. Even if it's not this season, they will get it together. Najee will dominate again, I think. He has, so let me give you some numbers. 18 attempts and 18 targets through the first 6 weeks of the season. So the Steelers have made an effort to get him the ball nearly 100 times. Pickett looked like he can operate the offense in a way that Mitch Trubisky couldn't. And he's demonstrated that over the last week and a half. Really, I think it was like the second half of Buffalo is really where he got
Mm-hmm.
it together. But you talk about making adjustments at the line and putting the ball where it needs to go quickly at the start of a play. Pickett's going to do that way better than Mitch was, and I think all that means good stuff for Najee Harris. I'm not buying anything. I mean, I have some Jalen Warren. I'm not really buying into anything with him. I think he's fine, but Najee as an elite RB1 workhorse is good. Is someone you want. Yeah, if you
Okay.
could be had for RB2 price or and sorry, the last point on Najee is dude has 500 carries on his body. Yeah, they've used him a lot, but he only has 500 carries. Like that's like he has
Oh,
half as many carries of almost all the tailbacks that are above him. So
I,
he's got a
I
lot of
just
tread
want to
left.
throw this out here
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Like, he had a foot injury early in the season, and it didn't require surgery, and he had a metal plate in his shoe, not in his foot or anything. Shoe,
Yeah.
they've taken that out now, meaning his foot's getting better, right? So like we liked him. There was an injury. The team said the injury wasn't serious, but then he looked terrible. Then he looked much worse than we thought he would look. You know what I mean? And like maybe they're just lying about how serious that injury was.
Maybe.
I think that's got to be out there as a possibility. Look, all right. So you're a contending team.
Yeah.
You're a contending team with a light running back build, like you like to build them.
Got a lot of those. Oh yeah.
Are you willing to send your first across for Najee Harris?
Oh yeah. I would definitely if I know.
Are you willing to send your first and second late in both rounds for
Yeah, I
Najee Harris?
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I probably
I
would.
think you could get that if Najee is on a rebuilding team
Yeah.
who like they got him because they thought they were getting the good young running back.
Hmm.
I think you could get that out.
Yeah,
Depending,
yeah.
he's got to be on the right roster, but I think you could get.
For
I like
context, for
that.
me to make that trade, and I do trade away 23 first in trades, guys. That happens, but you know, when I look at my roster and evaluate that, it's like I have to really feel confident I'm going to make the playoffs without Najee. Like, am I a playoff team without him? Am I making this deal because
Yes.
it puts me over the top and in title mode? If I am an eighth place team trying to jump into like the fourth spot, I'm not going to move my picks for a
Uh,
tailback. So just all
I
this perspective.
probably If I thought I was the fourth best team, I would struggle to do that. If I thought I
Yeah,
was
yeah, you
a
got to
top
be. Yep.
three team,
Hmm.
if I thought I was the third best team and this made me the best team or coin flip for the best team, that's the kind of spot where I'm very happy to make that. Yeah, because you don't. You've seen enough bad with Najee. I don't think you really want to trade a top 6, 8, even maybe pick for him
Yep.
in next year's draft. But you would be happy to trade, even if you traded for him and didn't win the title. If you had sent across the 111 and the 211, and what you had back was Najee for next year, you'd be fine with that.
Hmm. Yeah, but I think we covered him. What are you selling, brother? Who are you selling?
So
Selling
I,
high? Yeah.
I'm selling high on Brian Robinson.
Ooh.
Like, I like Brian Robinson. I have a decent amount of Brian Robinson on my really trashy running back rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Some of which are decent teams, and some of which are total. Uh, 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 this year's going to be trash teams.
Yeah.
But Brian Robinson, I just put him on the trade block in a couple of leagues. I put him on the trade block in one league because I had started 0-5 and then I won a game last week. I didn't. So I was like, put Brian Robinson in the trade block. I got Deontay Johnson offered back to me immediately, and I just smashed that one. I honestly, I had to stare at it for a little because, and I went and like checked for Deontay injuries because,
Yep.
And I sent some feelers around. Like, am I missing something? If I I talked to some of my confidants, right? This is as good as it looks, and everybody, yeah. But so it took me like 10 minutes to hit accept, but I just thought that was a great value, and that has me thinking I should put Brian Robinson on the trade block in all the leagues that I have him.
Happy fishing out there. I hope you hit something. It's that's a good deal you make though. That 1-for-1 for Deontay. I like that a lot for you.
Yeah, I now have the Kenny Pickett, Deontay, Pickens, Claypool stack in that.
All of them. The whole. Yep. You need to trade for Muth. Is what you need to do.
I need to. And yeah, I need them to trade Claypool to Chicago.
I just want to trade it anywhere. At this point.
I'll trade him to Chicago. I really want Fields to get a target at this deadline.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on from those trade targets. With the NFL trade deadline coming up here, I wanted to spend like 1 minute. Let's try to do 20 seconds each on a handful of players who are low-key trade deadline ads. So Mike Gesicki has some rumors around him. Go out and add Durham Smythe and Hunter Long in your tight end premium leagues or 2 tight end leagues if they're out there. Even one tight end premium league. One of these guys would be a starter if Gesicki got moved or Gesicki got moved. Hunter Long had good draft capital. He was a 3rd round pick. Smythe was a 4th round pick. These are not untalented players. They're okay, and that's a pretty good offense, right? So go ahead and do that. Do you like either one of them better?
Smythe.
Okay.
He's just been playing, so
he's been playing, but I think he also has the lower ceiling. All right, and then Robbie Anderson has been moved out of Carolina. Now we've had CMC move out as well, and we have rumors about DJ Moore. They say they're going to keep him, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
Terrace Marshall, Laviska Shenault, who, by the way, has some of that running back, like could do some of the Debo stuff, right? With McCaffrey gone, and Shi Smith, who had been running as the number 3, and it looks like Marshall may jump from 4 to 2, with Smith staying in as the slot guy.
Yep.
But how do you feel about those 3 guys?
Don't care at all because they don't have a quarterback. No,
but in your dynasties, you're not interested in
I'm
like
definitely interested in Terrence Marshall because of the capital and who he was in college, and they can always get a quarterback in this year's draft. I mean, it's a
right.
stash,
They're going
and
to
that's
right.
yeah. I like taking shots on those kind of stashes. That's yeah.
But also, if something happened with DJ Moore,
Mhm.
like one of these guys is gonna have to put up flex numbers at least,
Yeah, I mean they're
right?
going to be in negative game scripts, right? Because they're going to
Right.
be bad and losing most games. So
With McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson gone, if Moore were to go, somebody's got to catch some balls,
yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure.
So go look at these guys in your very deep leagues. You don't see guys available in dynasties that could help you, but one of these guys could lead the team in receiving this year if they trade more. And finally, we've seen this with Elijah Moore as well. Very deep formats only. Braxton Berrios, Denzel Mims. If Elijah Moore was out the door tomorrow, these are guys who would get more targets. And in your very deep formats, where guys who get targets don't come available very often, you might want to pre-add these guys.
Denzel Mims says he had to catch a regular season touchdown pass.
Oh yeah, no,
It's been rough for him.
yeah.
I like Barrios out of those two. I like Barrios a lot more.
Yeah,
He's interesting because he's actually involved in the game. Yeah.
absolutely. All right, so now let's get to the big CMC trade. All right, so over under on his games played before injury.
Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I mean, I thought it's been an interesting marriage with, the injury plagued San Francisco backfield, and then also McCaffrey, who has missed. I did the math earlier today. I think he's missed like 16 of his last 36 NFL games or something like that. It's been real rough for him there. So like those that meeting of curses can't bode well for McCaffrey's health. Do you think he plays for? I don't know. 8 over under 8 games he starts for the Niners this season.
Well, I think he starts all of them.
Yeah, if he's healthy, yeah. You think he
I
will
think
be?
this is the one you're not going to be able to get away from. That's my take. I think this is the one where he has his final career year, and then after this year it becomes I think he has a career year here, and then the fact that you can't afford to pay running backs that much money starts to bear down on this team, and they suffer for it going forward if they don't win it all this year, which they probably won't. Oh, hey, by the way, the odds that Jimmy Garoppolo does enough to keep that job just went up.
Oh yeah, McCaffrey just helped Garoppolo keep his position. Yeah.
Trey Lance wise, right? Like the odds that they win the title just went up, right? The odds they win the title and Garoppolo is the new quarterback and Trey Lance is his backup.
Yeah.
Like, because we were talking about that, like all the different possibilities several episodes ago, and like this certainly increases that. All right, so what else do you think about the pieces there? Obviously, all the other running back pieces are gone. Elijah Mitchell, what do you think?
I'm pretty out on Elijah Mitchell entering the season, and this just doesn't bode well for him. I not buying him. I would still sell him for what I could get for him, and yeah, I mean this guy was a 6th-round pick, so he was probably a late third round pick in your rookie drafts. So like, whatever you can get for him.
So number one,
Mm-hmm.
I think that is sort of a low key Dameon Pierce warning about the value of day 3 running backs who hit. Right, like they just do not have any loyalty. Number 2, I wonder if Miami might have some interest in taking him off their hands.
Mitchell,
pick.
That's like the place that makes sense for him to go. So,
right,
yeah,
with all of that,
the coaching,
the coaching, yeah. He can go back and work with Mostert. He'll be coming back right when Mostert gets hurt. I don't know. I just think that's an interesting option over there. What about Debo? Hurts a little, no big deal.
It hurts a little, right? I mean, it has to hurt a little. I mean, also
Mhm.
has to help a little too, right? Because this guy's so freaking threatening out there. So
Okay.
there's only one football. That's all I'm getting at, and you can only score one time on a drive. So it's
Hurts everybody who's not Garoppolo over there,
yeah. I
but
mean, brings them
just a little
down
bit.
a little bit. Like has to kind of lower
Uh-huh.
their ceiling, all of them slightly, right?
Maybe helps Ayuk by just making the offense better, but definitely I
Mm-hmm.
think hurts Kittle and Debo, who work some of the same. Like maybe helps Ayuk because he
Yeah.
plays a different role, the downfield role.
It's just
Um,
it's harder to get. You can't funnel all that volume into one person with McCaffrey now siphoning off so many touches. So you know what I mean? Like the ceiling, Kittle. It's hard for me to see Kittle get like a 12 target game now, like ever.
yeah,
You know.
exactly,
So
exactly. All right, Chuba or Foreman?
Chuba Foreman. I've been big on Foreman. We both have. That's Greg turned me on to Foreman this offseason, and I was really taking a lot of flyers on him in the late rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm pretty excited to see what he can do, and you have to believe they signed him with the intention of potentially taking over for McCaffrey eventually. Um,
I do think
yeah,
so. I mean, I think
I think so. Yeah.
so. You asked Chuba or Foreman.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I think the most common Christian McCaffrey start sit question this weekend, if he plays, will be CMC in what has to be a super limited role, right? Because like he's not going to get to San
He just
Francisco
got
until
there. Yeah.
he's literally not getting there until Saturday, till Friday after practice.
Sure.
He won't.
Yeah.
He'll meet the coaches Friday. He'll meet his quarterback Saturday,
Hmm.
right? So do you want a very limited CMC, or would you start Deontay Foreman, who you were holding as his?
Foreman against Tampa Bay. I would start McCaffrey because
Okay.
he might score a touchdown. Foreman's gonna have a tough time. I mean, even if McCaffrey only gets like one carry, he could just score with it, right? Or like if they bring him in at all, it'll probably be in the red zone, right? So I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that
You
might
want
be
Foreman or CMC?
correct.
Yeah.
I think that was a. I think I'm probably going to have to go CMC. I think I'm probably going to start CMC in the one place where I am making that decision.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel it. If you
I
were
only have
handcuffing
one
him, then
CMC.
that's yeah. If you were handcuffing, then that's a decision you have to make now. So it's interesting.
That's precisely why
Yeah.
I asked it. Only have one CMC, and I have that decision in
Yeah.
that spot.
Yeah.
And if I had more, I would have that decision in all of them.
It's interesting.
Because I liked Deontay Foreman a lot, and I didn't trust CMC's help. I liked Foreman a lot last season. He was really freaking good right down the stretch and won you titles. He for those of us who played trashy running backs, like Foreman was in a group with Devin Singletary and oh gosh, who was it? J.D. McKissick down the stretch, right?
Yeah.
Like there was like Duke Johnson put up two big games late. Like Rex Burkhead, right? There was this group of guys who just like were fine from nowhere, right? And Foreman was the leader of that. And so I also won a title 2 years ago, Davis, a lot, right? So I've got some I kind of like the idea of having the CMC replacement. It's an offense built around a running back, and I don't believe in Chuba at all. So I like Foreman. All right, man.
We got that hometown league that we run, the 24/7
What are we gonna do?
365.
We got an offer for Schultz.
Dalton Schultz. We got a trade request. Dude is sending us as 24 third for Dalton Schultz. The man, the guy who's currently a reigning top 5 PPR tight end. I'm insulted by that offer. That's insultingly low.
Honestly, yes. So we're gonna make a quick counter here.
Yeah.
That will almost certainly get turned down. Okay, so he's got Taysom Hill in the position,
Ooh. Yep.
and he's got Darren Waller, who has sort of this ongoing problem.
He's loaded. He's got a good roster though
health
across
problem.
the board. This person. He's got Antonio
So
Brown rostered still. So that's interesting.
Who are you interested in here? How do you feel about pick wise? He doesn't have a second.
I like Romeo Doubs. That's my favorite.
He doesn't have any picks next year.
No.
He has.
I like Romeo Doubs. I don't think this guy's going to do any business with us. He already has so many tight ends. I don't even know why he's fishing. He's got Taysom, Waller, Tanyan. Like
Because Taysom's got. Well, he's got Tanyan. I don't see why he's fishing there either.
Yeah, that's what Tanyan throws it all off.
Taysom's
been no worse than any other trash tight end in all but his 40-point game.
I
like Doubs. How do we get Doubs from this
Taysom
guy?
Hill has not looked playable to me when Winston played. That's the other thing, though. Doubs and Rondale are interesting to me. Rondale might be a buy the dip.
We might be able to send Schultz straight across for Rondale. Do you want to try to do that? Would you?
Oh
do that?
no,
I don't think so.
I might send him over for both.
Let's try it. Yeah, I'll send that.
Yeah, send it for both and see what he.
Can we throw in a player? Because we'd have to cut someone anyway. Is there could we send him I don't know.
Slayton. Oh, maybe Slayton.
Yeah, well, yeah, Slayton's fine. That sounds fine. I love it. I want these two young buck receivers.
Let him come back with something better than a third round pick 2 years down the road, 2 drafts from now. Nah, it's no.
He's out there grinding. Right. Maybe we should just throw Jerick McKinnon into that offer because he's been involved.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Do it.
Yeah, let's try it. I'll just add him. I'll just modify this. We're just gonna add McKinnon, and then we get a roster spot too, which is kind of cool. Nice.
Yeah, if we got a roster spot, I wouldn't terribly mind taking a flyer on Cole Turner, the 5th round rookie tight end in Washington, who started because of some injuries last week and passed my eye test a little bit.
Yeah, Trey McKitty sitting there makes me so sad. I really had so many. Trey McKitty was like my favorite last round pick, and he's been so depressing. He only blocks, man. He's out there a lot, but he's always blocking. Just throw him the ball.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, next week, man. Next week. What are we doing for? What are you looking forward to heading into week 7 of action?
I have a couple of things. I'm curious to see which Pittsburgh we get.
Yeah.
Last week's Pittsburgh was not the Pittsburgh we saw the other weeks.
Sure.
And I'm interested to see what that's all about. I'm interested in more of the Kenny Pickett experiment and the George Pickens experience, and I've got a lot of all 3 of those wide receivers. And I've got a lot of Pickett and a lot of all of the wide receivers. I don't have a lot of Harris, and I don't have a lot of Muth, but I'm very interested to see which version of Pittsburgh we get. And I believe Matt Ryan leads the league in pass attempts, and I am very curious to see what offense we're going to be getting out of that team, especially with some of the injury returns. What are you looking for this week?
All I'm looking for is a Seahawks game because I own, I think, 14 shares of Kenneth Walker across my 28 leagues that I play in total in redraft, and I just can't wait. I just love him. I love Kenneth Walker. I'm so happy he hit. So rarely am I do they actually hit when they do? They look good on the NFL field. I've been waiting to be I've been waiting to have all the air let out of my balloon with him, but I'm happy he's.
I think you and I both never wavered from Kenneth Walker 102, regardless of format, full PPR. It does not matter. Positional scarcity. You take this guy too.
I got him all over the place. I have so much Walker. I have him
I
in
have
like
tons of Walker.
so much Walker, and
I
I
have less
love it.
Walker than you do, but I have a lot of Walker.
He looks so good. I mean, one game against the Cardinals defense. That's but like let's see it. Okay, what's he got next week? I'm just excited to see it because I love the talent. So Kenneth Walker hype train, and we'll stay with the running backs. The other storyline I'm really looking into here is what's Jonathan Taylor going to do? I have some good shares of him, especially on my competitive teams, and I'm happy he's back. And do you expect Jonathan Taylor to return to form?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I do think this is a sneaky buy low on Jonathan Taylor. I think he's um I yeah, I think he should probably still be the RB1 over Brees Hall. How about that?
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that.
And I don't think anybody else thinks that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've seen enough. I've seen what I need to see for him. I trust him completely. Like I've in past years, I know what he is. I know what he's getting. I even like this week. Did you? I don't know if you saw the quote, but he's like, the doctors cleared him to play, and he pulled himself out of last week's game. And he said, "I'm a professional. I know my body. I wasn't ready." Like I really liked that.
Yeah, I like that too. I like when players do that across all sports. There's much ado, too much put on when players. Oh, the doctor said he can go. It's like, oh well, the doctor's probably paid by the team usually, and the player's got to feel good and he's got to want to get out there. So he's got
Well,
to feel confident in himself getting out there. That's a big deal.
yeah. Well, I think he was saying he felt he had re-injury risk. Like he was saying his body was telling him it had re-injury risk, and he pulled himself, and everybody let him do it. And I think he's probably going to come back and have a stupid big day. That is my guess.
I'd love it. I would love for him to just come out there and shred, just crush.
Yeah. What one of those days is coming. An RB1 week is coming. An RB1 overall week is coming. Mm-hmm. So I love him. Yeah. So I think those are some good things to look at for this week. Well, good luck with your games then, Tony. Good luck with all of your matchups. Happy hunting for your title contending teams.
And same to you, sir. Good luck to you. Good luck to all your championship aspirations. Good luck to the listener, to the viewer. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. Comment. Tell us what trades you've made. Tell us who you're buying, who you're selling. Tell us if you've made any moves in your leagues based on some of the information you're getting from us, because I love to hear about that. But why don't you say good night to our viewers there, buddy?
Good night to our viewers there, buddy.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.